Okay, I'm going to show you guys a way to save some money by putting line on your own reels. Some of you guys probably already do it, others don't. If you're going to the tackle store to get spectra put on your reel every time you need to change the line out, you're probably paying a little bit too much money. The biggest problem about filling up your reels at home had always been the fact that it's hard to hold the spool, get the right amount of tension on your line, wind it under tightly without, I used to make my wife hold the spool with a screwdriver through it, and that gets old real quick when you got 20 reels to fill up. But there's a new product on the market by Penn I'm going to be showing you guys in a minute. It really makes it a lot easier to put line on your reel tight at home. But before you're ready to put line on, a lot of times you have to take your line off. And this is a Berkeley line stripper. It's a little deal that goes on a power drill. Costs about 20 bucks. I'll put a link to it in the article. And it goes on your drill. And all you need to do is, I got a rod here them to swap the line out on. Bear with me if I'm off camera for a second. So basically I just have the rod over here in the rod holder, and I'll just loop this line around this thing a few times so you get it something to grab onto. Of course I did it the wrong way, but try that again here. You don't really have to have it on there perfect, but there you go. And now it's just a matter of setting the line off. Now, you probably can't hear me, so stand by a moment. So when I'm changing line on bass reels, I'll wait till I get the good looking spectra like this, which is basically brand new. And this is the crankbait reel I'm taking off of, so that's not surprising considering you really don't ever have a lot of line out on a crankbait reel. So it's kind of silly to refill an entire reel when you've only had a couple, 100 feet off at any time. So basically this just removes here. This line comes off here. I got a little bit around the drill while I was trying to do this, so bear with me. Everything's harder on video, you know what I mean? So it's important not to let the line get around your slide off the thing. It usually doesn't, but there, it's all off. So usually a lot easier than that, but pretty quick anyway. So there, I probably got 200 or 300 feet of line, and that just clicks back into place here and ready to go again. Once you have the line off, putting it back on, now I'll show you on my reel here. I didn't take a whole lot of line off that reel. And again, this is a crankbait reel, so I never have much more line out than what I cast. So depending on what reel it is, if it's when I'm fishing swim baits on or something like that, I'll take maybe 150 yards off. If I have a jig reel, I'll take it down to half a spool. Basically, you don't ever want to cast the knot out, and you want to mostly have the knot on the reel where the splice is while you're fishing. If a fish takes out a bunch of line, having that knot out is not a big deal. I use a double uni. It's gone through the guides plenty of times on bigger tuna and never been an issue. So let's talk a minute about the line winder. This is the Penn HD line winder. You put your spool on here. What's special about this, it actually has a drag washer that allows you, two drag washers actually, that allows you to put some tension on your spool. So we'll be putting some 30-pound braid on this crankbait reel. So basically you take the stuff off and it's in sequence. So there's a drag, there's a metal washer. It's just like a reel drag system. Slide your spool on there. Let me put it back together the way it went on. This is actually a slotted washer and it'll only go on one way, which creates the tension. Put that on. I spin my tensioning knob back on here. Probably should have this ready ahead of time for the video. Sorry about the delay. But you can see me fight with it. Yeah, like I said, everything's 10 times harder in video. There we go. Okay. Now, once I have this tightened down, we put quite a bit of drag on this thing, and I think it'll give up over 10 or 12 pounds of drag if you tighten it enough. What I'll do here is continue to tighten it until it's hard to pull the line off. That's enough. If you're using a lot of drag on this thing, you probably want to use a clamp to hold it to the table because you'll just lift it off the ground. But right now it's probably got a couple pounds of drag on there, which is good for a little light 8-caster. Let me use the slack back off of here. So basically, if you don't know what a double union knot is, and this is probably not the best thing to show you here, you're making a loop while you're crossing your two lines up. Bring around the outside. Easier thing. You're putting your line in two different directions. You're taking one, you're doing an overhand loop, and you're going to wrap the line through multiple times. With spectra, I'll use 9 times, and if I'm using fluoro or monofilament, I'll only do 5 times, which is fine. And if you're like you're doing a spectra to fluoro connection, you can do 9 on the spectra side, 5 on the other. The key with this knot is to pull it slowly. Everybody wants to rush through this, and what happens a lot of times, you get these bows. So what I'll do once I get to that point, I'll smooth it out and then cinch it down. Then once I've done that side, I'm going to do the other side. So this is kind of difficult to do on video because I'm only not ambidextrous here with it. So what I did was there we go. I loop this around again, same loop. You can probably find a video online that's much clearer than what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go around 9 times. There you go. So that's, again, we're going to pull it down slowly. When it starts to tighten up, I'll run over my fingers over the barrel, especially on heavier lines. That helps to cinch down. They just pull the two ends together tightly and trim off your excess. You don't need to leave hardly any tag here because this is a pretty sturdy knot. It won't slide with spectra ever. And again, if you ever need to splice your line for any reason on the water, it's a great knot to use as well. So there we go, got a nice little clean knot. And now basically what I'm going to do is just wind the line back on here, and I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but it's pretty simple to make a point not to have it tangled around. But there you go. That's what happens when you try to do stuff on video. Everything gets to be a mess. That's why it's nice to have the tension. So anyway, I'm just going to be winding the line. You can see how bent the rod is. I've got a lot of tension on there. And I'm basically just going to refill that up. I'm not going to do the whole thing on video because it's kind of boring after a certain point. But that's how you refill a reel, pretty easy. If you have a new reel, or a reel you're taking all the line off, you need to put some tape on your spool. What happens with spectra is it doesn't compress down like mono does, and just the expansion of the mono will hold it tight to the spool. With spectra, it doesn't compress, so you can actually, if you don't have anything secured in it other than the knot, it will slide. I normally just use the blue painter's tape. I don't have any handy here. Any kind of tape, masking tape, duct tape, anything like that. Just one wrap around the spool gives that spectra something to grab onto. Some reels like this Penn Fathom, they have this bar here that's got texture on it, and that's enough to hold the line in place. Just gives it something to grab onto and keeps it from sliding. When putting line on a reel for the first time, the knot I use is just a variation of what I think is the San Diego Jam, or I think of as the San Diego Jam knot. I'm not sure anybody else calls it, but I'm just going to show you that, guys, real quick. So basically, I've got the line over my spool, It doesn't matter how high you do it up here. I'm just going to hold it higher so you guys can see it. We'll take that tag end, and what we do is we double the tag end back down over it, and I'll do 6 or 7 wraps back down with the tag end. Then I'll feed that tag end through the opening at the bottom, and then bring it up and feed it back to that loop that I made there. And I will pull that tight. And even though that's a long distance, that will slide all the way down to the reel spool and cinch up. And what I'll do is I'll pull on the tag end to get it tight. One of the things I like to do with spectra is I will leave the tag end long like this when I wind it back on the reel, and I'll wind it at an angle to the main line. And what that'll do is give the line something else to bite onto as well. It just gives a little more traction. So that started there, and now all I would need to do is fill up the reel completely. That little tag end, if it bothers you, cut it off. It doesn't bother me. It stays way down in the spool. You'll never see it unless you're getting spooled. And you're good to go like that. So you can buy, you know, it's not like we use a bunch of different spectra sizes anymore. Now I fish 30, 50, 65, and 80. And that covers every type of fishing I do. So what I'll do is or in 100 for my bigger stuff, but I'll just buy bulk spools and you can get years out of them. I bought this Strength Sonic braid. They discontinued it, line I liked a lot. They had some on closeout that was from Europe. That's why it's got the different, this is actually 65 pound, but in Europe they call it 44.6 kilograms because they measure the breaking strength differently or some crazy thing. But I bought this on sale for like 90 bucks on closeout, and I've been fishing off it for a couple years on my bass reels I fish 65 pound braid on. So, you know, for a $20 line spooler, I think this pen unit here is about 50 or 60 bucks, and you can buy some cheap spectra or spectra that's on sale, and you'll never have to, you know, go spend 20 bucks for 100 yards at a tackle store again.